Hello and welcome to week 5, day 3. Now, earlier on this week, on Monday, I mentioned sometimes that we have negative thoughts, and all humans have negative thoughts at times. We can be critical of ourselves, we can be critical of others and situations. And I want to talk to you today about awareness of those thoughts and how we can sometimes catch ourselves having repeated negative thoughts. So let me give you an example. Let's say somebody's got an interview coming up for a job, and the last interview they had didn't go very well. So they've started to have these negative thoughts around, oh, I'm going to fail the interview. I'm going to mess it up like I messed up the last one. So the first thing to do is to catch and notice that we're having these repeating thoughts. And then you can observe them. So I think of it as we have two parts of the brain. We've got the bit that's doing the thinking. We've also got a part of the brain that is observing the thinking. So we can be thinking, I'm going to fail the interview, but we can also notice, I'm having the thought that I'm going to fail the interview. So it's two slightly different things, the thought itself and the observation of that thought, the knowledge that we're having that thought. So if you do have any repeated negative thoughts, see if you can catch them and then say to yourself, I am having the thought that. So you become much more aware of them. And then you can give them a name. You could give them a label. So in my example here, I could say, there's that I'm going to fail the interview story. And every time you become aware that you're thinking about that again, worrying about failing that interview, you can say to yourself, yeah, there I am having that failed interview story. So catching our thoughts are really, really important. There's much more about that in the book, and I also link you there and advise you that if you're really interested in this sort of thinking, of a book called The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. I'll put that in the email, the link to that too. And another thing that we can do is that, if I'm starting to think and worrying about this interview that I've got coming up, I am very likely to start to feel some emotion around it, so a nervousness. And we can then identify, where am I feeling that in my body? So maybe I'm feeling it in my chest or in my head or my stomach, somewhere like that. And I can then really try to picture that object, really bring it to my mind and try to imagine what shape it is, what size it is, what color it is, whether it's heavy or light, whether it's moving or still within us, whether it's got a smooth surface or one with projections coming out of it, whether it's shiny, whether it's dull. So we can really imagine this object as our emotions, and then take some time to breathe in, breathe out, and let that air surround that object. And every time we breathe out and do a nice slow outward breath, we send more and more of our breath, more of that air to surround our object. We're not trying to change it. We're just trying to be with it in a slightly different way. And that is a technique, another technique, same as the previous one, from something called acceptance and commitment therapy, which I think is a really, really helpful therapeutic methodology for difficult thoughts and difficult emotions, difficult feelings. As I say, if you're interested in that, I'll put some further links in the email, but it's also, I talk a bit more about it in Positive Paths to Wellbeing as well. Now, for today, for our meditation or for our relaxation, I'm going to link you to a beach meditation, which is also in this email. So I hope that you will enjoy that. And please join me again tomorrow. Bye for now.